What's good, everybody? Andrea here. So it's late. That's right. My vlog is late. So here's the deal. I'm getting ready to shoot the show with Brittany tonight, and she reminded me, hey, did you post your vlog to Patreon yet? And I was like, ooh, good, I totally forgot, because I was editing that Days Gone video, which, by the way, if you haven't checked it out, pretty happy with how that came out. YouTube.com/whatsgoodgames. Not that you guys don't know that. So here's what I thought would be fun to talk about. So if you guys follow me on Instagram or on Twitter, you might have seen that I went to the Captain Marvel world premiere in Los Angeles at Disney's famous El Capitan Theater on Hollywood Boulevard. It was pretty spectacular. I've been to several red carpets in my lifetime. I've worked even more. And going is always such a fun experience when you're going as a guest, being able to walk on the red carpet and see all the movie stars getting their photos taken and doing interviews. And with any Marvel movie, of course, it is a spectacle. There are so many people there. And it was really awesome for Marvel Games to invite us to come down. I, of course, went with my husband, John, and we went to go see the movie. So where am I going with this? The review. Let's do like a light review. No spoilers, of course. I have to admit, I knew next to nothing about Captain Marvel going into this movie. So I watched several of those like Know Before You Go videos that you can find all over YouTube. And it was actually really helpful because there's several alien races that are in Captain Marvel that I had never heard of before in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I've seen every other video that you can watch in the MCU. But I still felt like I was going in a bit blind. I was like, oh, Fury, I know who that guy is. And pretty much everybody else, I was like, don't know. So I would recommend that if you're like me and you're like, who the heck is Captain Marvel? Definitely watch some of those videos and you'll feel much better about everything. So the movie overall was kick-ass. I did not realize it was all set in the 90s, which is awesome because one, it means the soundtrack is phenomenal. There are some really key choice songs in specific moments that are really going to make anybody who's a fan of 90s music very happy. And also, because it's set in the 90s, it's set so far back from the current events in the MCU, they're able to get away with some liberties and not have to worry about addressing what's going on with Thanos and Infinity War. But they do kind of give a hint about what's going to happen with Captain Marvel's future, of course, you know, in a post-credit scene. Don't want to give away that. It would be very spoilery, but as you know, if you watch Marvel movies, you gotta stay for the credits. So definitely do that. And the post-credit scene is one that is pretty hilarious. So anyway, let's talk about the movie. Brie Larson is phenomenal. I went in with, you know, pretty like middling expectations. I was like, it's a Marvel movie. Regardless of which characters are your favorites, generally the movie making process for Marvel is pretty solid. So even if you have like favorites or ones that are better than others, I wouldn't say that anything in the Marvel Cinematic Universe is outright bad, as in like a really terrible movie. Not that I'm looking at you, DC, but I digress. So the movie, I went in like not expecting too much. I expected, you know, a bunch of action sequences, some really cool CG, and I expected hopefully some hints as to what's going to happen in Endgame with the Avengers. Now, of course, remember, I didn't know anything about Captain Marvel. And I came out incredibly surprised by how amazing the movie was. Out of all of the Marvel movies I've seen, this is definitely in the top 5. It might even be in the top 3, except all of the Avengers movies are pretty good, and there's like 4 of those now. There's just too many movies to keep up with these days. But Brie was fantastic. I think the fact that her acting pedigree coming into a comic book styling and narrative with Marvel characters really lent itself well. Not that Marvel has any trouble getting top-notch acting talent, but there are some other superhero movies, and I'm most notably thinking of Wonder Woman with Gal Gadot, and how I just didn't really quite connect with her as Wonder Woman and didn't think that she was particularly endearing to me as a viewer. Now, I know that there's a controversial opinion, and lots of people thought that she did a really fantastic job, and I'm not saying that she didn't. It just wasn't my personal favorite. But Brie as Captain Marvel is chef's kiss. She's absolutely divine, and she really nailed the role. And what I really love about her portrayal of this character is that not only does she exude this power and this strength, and it's believable that she has all these crazy powers, but she also has these really quiet, funny moments, and her comedic timing is so well done. That's something I think Marvel really excels in that a lot of other action movies sometimes fall on their face with, is the comedy element of it. And it's done really masterfully here, as to be expected. And surprisingly, some really emotional moments as well. I mean, obviously, Marvel no stranger to really sad moments in some of their movies, but I wasn't expecting something to kind of hit me the way that it did. Not to say that something really sad or tragic happens, but there was just this one moment in particular that kind of like stirred everything up in me. And it was really more of an empowerment moment than it was something that was down or depressing. And I think that that was really cool. But overall, I thought that the way that they explained Captain Marvel's really kind of wild backstory pretty succinctly was the best that it was going to be. I know that I'm sure hardcore Captain Marvel or hardcore Marvel comic book fans are going to be disappointed, because there's just no way to easily explain Captain Marvel's backstory and get to some cool action all in like a 2-hour movie. I think trying to explain who Captain Marvel is and where she came from and all of the different alien races that are involved in, you know, the creation of Captain Marvel would take a really long time. And so going in pretty blind as to who she was and what her backstory was, I thought that they wrapped it up as neatly as they could and then moved quickly on to some more action. So it was a really nicely done origin story that then was able to pivot into stuff that tied into the newer MCU timelines. And I think that fans who are eagerly awaiting Avengers Endgame are going to appreciate that. So what's the final verdict here? I would say if you like Marvel movies and you like Captain Marvel, well, first off, you're probably going to go see this regardless. But if you're maybe the kind of person who sits out most of the Marvel movies and only, you know, goes to the theaters for the big ones or a particular character you like Spider-Man or what have you, then I would suggest maybe giving this one a shot. Because of all the Marvel movies I've seen over the last like 5 years, this is the one that probably really stayed with me, and I immediately wanted to go see again, and probably will go see again this weekend, because it was just that good. And I can't say enough about how wonderful of a job Brie Larson did. So I know I'm rambling a little bit. I may have had too much coffee today. But Britt and I are about to shoot the show for this week. We've got lots of talk about Days Gone. We've got lots of talk about Devil May Cry. I'm going to talk a little bit about my time in the Division 2 open beta. We're going to talk about Season of the Drifter for Destiny 2. And I think there's something happening in the news, something about Xbox and a digital-only box. I don't know. I'll check the show notes eventually. But thank you to everybody for supporting us on Patreon. We hope that you guys are enjoying these vlogs. If there's specific types of content you would like to see in them, you know, we always love to hear from you. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know. Tweet to me. Email me. Whatever you want. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Oh, one more thing. I totally forgot to post the February secret segment video, and it was a good one. We play MASH. You don't want to miss it. It was a Valentine's Day themed episode, and I just like poof forgot to post it. So we're gonna upload it this week, and we hope you enjoy. Bye everybody.